Welcome everybody to this episode of Carbon Positive Motorsport's update on everything that's positive in motorsport, and today we're talking about the East Riding Stages Rally and in particular the fantastic entry that we've got for 2024. Now let's meet the people that are talking. Rather than me introduce you guys, just say hello, starting with Kat.
Hi, I'm Kat, and I'm looking after the event publicity for East Riding Stages. And I'm also looking after the fan zone, which is where the ceremonial start and finish will be on the event.
Richard.
My name's Richard Vincent. The reason we're all here is because of my idea back in 2019 to put the event on, and it's been a success all the way. So very happy to be here.
And Paul.
Yeah, and I'm Paul. I'm one of the guys that's behind Carbon Positive Motorsport, and been working with the event now for this will be the third year.
Great. Now, our intention here is to update the competitors in particular, spread some good news about offsetting carbon as far as the event is concerned. But I'm actually going to start with Richard and say, we know that this event is leading the way. You're first at many things at the East Riding Stages, but this event itself is only 2 years old. Did you ever imagine that when you started this event, you would have 150 competitors filling up the entry within hours of opening the entry, even in 2024? So you must be thrilled with that.
Over the moon. When we first talked about it, we were hoping to get about 120 entries. In our we were running with 100 in our first year. That was the limit we set ourselves. But then to have nearly 200 people wanting 100 places, that sort of that took us back a bit. And to be running with 150 last year and 150 this year, it's just breathtaking. We couldn't have asked for more. It's humbling, really. It's wonderful.
And Kat, well, you're in charge of marketing, and in particular, you've been helping me because I've also been helping with the fan zone that was new for last year. Now, that's a spark of interest for sponsors, for newbies to motorsport, for everybody in the area, and in particular Beverley, because we've taken over the Beverley marketplace, and we did something really special last year. So tell us a little bit about what the fan zone concept is about.
So the fan zone concept is basically to host the ceremonial start and finish, and it's so that the public can get really up close and personal with all of the rally cars and all of the competitors. They can hang out, they can look in the cars, they can talk to the crews, but also for the crews, it makes it a great atmosphere. I mean, both Richard and I have competed on events in Belgium, and this is the norm over there. These town centre starts and finishes are really the heart of the event, and it gets so much interest. Everybody's chilling out, they're in the bars, they're in the cafes, they're coming along and supporting their favourite crews. They're at the podium celebrations at the end. And the atmosphere is fabulous, and we really wanted to bring that to East Yorkshire.
And I had the pleasure of presenting the start ramp and chatting with the competitors as they went over the start at Beverley, which was great. But also, as part of that, we were able to include local retailers, which was really exciting. And like I say, new fans to motorsport. We had 5,000 people, visitors in the marketplace during the day. And also, we did quite a few sponsors, interviews during that event. We were obviously doing live video as part of it. But also, significantly to us, we were able to include the council, who were great supporters of the event, and that's maybe quite unusual in motorsport, but involve the guys from the council to come down, get involved, do live interviews, visit East Yorkshire, encourage people to come from hundreds of miles away to come and visit Beverley. Now, linked in with all of that is that's a motorsport event, we're thrilled in it, then let's get real. Rallying itself isn't necessarily, although it's economically of interest to local communities and valuable to local communities, we have this underlying issue which is about how do we look environmentally friendly when we're doing our sport, especially in a town centre, and when we're so close to the public. Bringing 150 cars and crews, literally millions of pounds worth of machinery to come and compete, and we all know what that's about, it's burning carbon. So it was critical from a PR point of view that somehow we offset this use of carbon. that leads in totally to Richard, and I believe we've got, Paul, to tell us a little bit about that. Paul, we were committed, Richard was committed to definitely trying to offset as much carbon usage as he could and be environmentally friendly. But could you tell us where your relationship started 3 years ago and how this is where the conversation is going to go? How important it's been to the event, do you feel?
I think the first event that ever worked with us actually came because of Richard. We met a few years ago in the track rod rally, shared his vision for the event. It wasn't just about offsetting carbon. I think what was impressive about Richard's vision was a compact route to reduce the emissions in the first place, but sustainability in almost every touch point. At that time, there'd not been an event that had such an ambition. We were proud to get involved and support Richard. And Richard and the East Riding Stages were the first rally to actually use carbon offsetting as a total event. Last year, they extended that to include official spectators. Again, the first event in the UK to do that. And this year, there'll be the first event in the UK that will actually aim for 200% offsetting. Normally, it's 125%. So this will be a third year of firsts race riding. And that's fantastic. Last year, I think we offset over 46 tonnes. That means more than 11,500 tonnes, kilograms of CO2, more than were estimated to be emitted were offset. So over time, doing this positive offsetting is actually putting back more into the environment than taking away.
Richard, what has it actually meant to you commercially? I mean, it's heartwarming to listen to that, and we're doing the right thing by the environment. But how's it actually helped the event?
How does it help the event? Difficult question. That I think certainly from my perspective to get people on board, and as you said that the event needs to be as open to everybody. That was one of the difficult things when you're sort of planning it, because how do you you're always going to get some objectors. How do you try and work with objectors as much as possible? And nowadays we have to be very thoughtful of the green issue, and so to address that, we were talking to Paul early days, and I think we through Cat and her history and connection with Paul, it was something that we could develop and push to the competitors. I mean, to start off with, we were trying to ask the competitors if they would mind paying for the offsetting, and to be fair, I think we had in the initial first year in 2022. We probably had around about 90% success, because everybody within the rallying community understands that there's a bigger picture out there. But I think last year we had virtually 100% people, competitors coming on board and offsetting their carbon emissions, which was staggering, really. And I think we're likely to get the same this year. I've not seen the figures this year, but I can't see why that wouldn't happen again. So yes, you have these ideas, but you hope they work. But it's amazing to actually see them come to light.
Kat, from your point
I wish I could do other things in the same way.
Yeah, because this is a good news part of it. I'm sure organising new events has had many other challenges. And we're going to thank a few people along the way. But Kat, first of all, can you tell us from a PR point of view, and I know this because I'm a commentator, I love being able to talk positively about the environment. But, from your point of view with the event and the event publicity, what advantages, what value have you had out of it?
Well, it does make a massive difference, Kev, because you can show that you've got this commitment to being sustainable as an event and being responsible as an event. It shows that you're taking everybody's concerns seriously. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Motorsport is a massively polluting activity. We all know that. In the big scheme of things, we're not as polluting as, I don't know, flying or China or football. But we still create emissions. There's no doubt about it. You've got to use petrol in your rally car, so That's always going to create some emissions. But actually, if you can offset those emissions and mitigate everything else you do, it's something that's great to talk about. It's fantastic to talk about it to sponsors, and the benefits with the local council and the local communities are endless.
And what I'd like to touch on now is just what's new for this year's event. So 2024, any competitors listening to this, really pay attention to what we're about to talk, what we're going to cover, which is the new opportunity for spectators, which is, I don't believe there's anything like it in the UK. There's ever been anything as easy and as a complete end solution for spectating on a rally event. And basically this year you've got a new spectator stage. It might not be the most challenging stage to the competitors, but it's got a fantastic hairpin that's going to go down a road that's known as the, what's it called? I forgot the road's name.
Walkington Road onto York Road.
Walkington Road onto York Road for locals. For me, it's something called Beverley Westwood onto the main road, which is an A road, going past Beverley Racecourse. So you do a hairpin back up to there. And the exciting part about that is that hairpin is absolutely open, free of charge for spectators to walk on a normal footpath, to park into Beverley a few hundred yards away, multiple parking, and walk from Beverley and come and spectate free of charge, as I say, on this super exciting viewing point. And a big part of that Kat's no doubt going to jump in and make an issue of as well. You can come and watch the ceremonial start, and the competitors are coming through this Belgium-esque environment in the town centre itself, have coffee, go shopping, and then walk just a couple of hundred yards and go and spectate, all from the same car park. And that's just going to be a fantastic opportunity to get new people that don't know about motorsport to come and engage the locals with our event. And then it makes so much sense to be talking about being carbon positive, because we've got to publicly welcome people to the event. There's going to be that underlying issue that we are burning carbon, we're motorsport, we're ripping tyres, we're ripping roads, but also we're doing the right thing. So offsetting carbon to me as a commentator is going to be invaluable. So that's where I see the value in it. It's going to encourage us to welcome more people. And I can give an example of that, like kids coming from school. So school trips out to come and visit and watch rallying for the first time is going to be something that will open up the carbon conversation, get kids interested in how to offset everything in life and think about the environment. And we, for once, can be at the forefront of that positivity. And Richard might want to say something about that. It's a great thing, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we said about leading the way, and I don't know of any other form of motorsport that actually regularly offsets its carbon usage. And we think about ourselves, and really it's just a hobby. And through with what Paul's doing, we're actively doing it and leading the way. And hopefully, I mean, Kat mentioned about football, and it's one of my biggest bugbears. We're a small cog, really, but in the bigger picture, you got thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people driving their cars every weekend to go and watch Man United or whoever. And do they ever consider the usage? Does anyone sort of question their car journeys or coach journeys? But no. But because we're motorsport, we have to consider it, and maybe through what we're doing and shouting about it and banging the drum, then maybe that'll a little bit will rub off to some of these big guys who are doing far more car journeys than we'll ever do. So, and it's just something to consider.
What we want to do on this podcast is actually arm the competitors with this knowledge so that they can talk positively about this experience. Ultimately, they're the ones that are paying for it. They need to be ambassadors. Each and every one of them can speak proudly about being involved in this process. And that's the thing that I guess, again, I'm very proud of. From your point of view, Paul, give us a little bit of an insight of if we want to talk to the public and we're competitors, what positive things can we say?
Well, I mean, I just reinforce what Richard says. I think the challenge for motorsport, especially rallying, is it connects with communities. It's in nature, it's connecting with nature, is the perception of the sport. I mean, the reality is that golf, football creates a far bigger carbon footprint than motorsport does, or rallying. And I think what's unusual is that we're doing this on a voluntary basis. This is amazing. It's not like Formula E or Extreme E, where it's embedded in what that competition is. This is showing that organisers and competitors are taking responsibility. And I think this gives different values. It is more attractive for sponsors because who wants to be associated with a sport, let's be honest, that is perceived to worsen the environment when we have such a crisis? And I think we can turn around, competitors can turn around this message of doing something positive to mitigate their action. And it would be different if we just said that we're just offsetting the emissions that we've created, but we're actually going above and beyond that. We're offsetting over time more emissions than were created. So that for me shows this responsibility. And I think it's a valuable way to connect with sponsors, to reassure sponsors you may already have. And it's really about the competitors using it for their own benefits. We're not here to plug carbon positive motorsport. We're here to give the message that we can all be positive about motorsport. And that's the key message that competitors and event organisers can use to attract others.
That's fantastic. And I'll quickly go for Richard and say we've got a few people to thank that have been instrumental in making this event a success as far as organising is concerned. And let's not forget, think of the marshals that are out on the event that probably have to deal face to face with the public, and they have to do the sharp end of PR on the day because they're dealing with people that are, upset that they can't get to the house. We've closed public roads. There's lots of things to deal with. The very minimum that we're doing as far as an event is empowering those marshals and clerks, of course, and everybody that's involved, even safety crews. We need to get this message out to them to let them have a positive story to tell the general public. So, like I say, this is anybody watching this from a competitor point of view, please pay attention to it and embed it yourself, but be an ambassador for this and share it with other people because it's literally the future of our sport in your hands.
If I could I add to that message a little bit? For competitors, we all know that motorsport's incredibly expensive, and there might be perceptions that entry fees are heavily influenced by this cost, but the truth, it's not the truth. On average, an event, you're looking to add between 2 and 3% an entry fee. And I think imagine if the sport wouldn't be around because of environmental protesters. At least this is a way to help ensure our sport is sustainable for the future. I think it's a relatively low cost. We're not in it to make any personal profit. We're doing it as an initiative for the good of the sport.
As much as I've heard one or two people make that comment that, it's an additional cost, it's so narrow-minded, and I'll be quite critical of people that I've heard say that and be relatively negative. Well, what about this and what about that? And the fact is, you've got to take responsibility yourself. The sport won't be there. And I'll clarify that by saying my son at 14, just starting rallying, I'm making a commitment that Zach's rallying will always be carbon positives. It'll always be, as carbon neutral as we can make everything he does. As a 14-year-old, we can't let the next generation of drivers harm the sport. In fact, they won't want to. It's us, it's our generation. So we need to make the change. That will carry on through my son if he's involved in motorsport for the rest of his life. And that has to be the standard that we set for ourselves. Sorry if that seems a bit lectury, but it's something it's easy to feel passionate about when you're involved in singing the praises of this, or if you indeed deal with a sponsor who says, well, I like what you do, but I'm not sure we can be involved. And this is the answer. Okay, we'll wrap things up, but I did want to thank a few people from Richard's point of view. Kat, you give a few name checks if we can. We've got a fantastic team of organisers. Your Beverley and District Motor Club are the first at many things. East Riding Stages has been a superb event, and you deserve every accolade that you can for everything that you've achieved. Richard, it was your idea. You've had to take a little step back this year, but we'll thank you very much for everything that you've done. I'm sure everybody passes that message on to you. But would you guys like to just name drop a few people that we know have put effort in?
Yeah, certainly the committee. Matthew Atkinson and I had the conversation at a motor club committee meeting back in April 2019. So Matthew, the chairman of Beverley District Motor Club, and clerk of the course for East Riding Stages. So big thank you to him. John Binns, who helps Matthew and does a fantastic amount of work in the background, sorting out all the maps and the safety information that we have to pass on to Motorsport UK and the council. Lloyd Walker, who's sadly had to take a back seat this year through ill health, but in the first from 2019 with myself and Matthew, has done a fantastic amount of work, and certainly organised the amazing service area we now have at Leconfield. John Binns, or mentioned, sorry, Chris Dunhill, and safety officer, fantastic knowledge. We'd be lost without him, and Graham Potter, who's the club treasurer and event treasurer, and organises all the PR teams and just puts in so many hours of unpaid work. As Paul mentioned, everybody is a volunteer. It is just, staggering the amount of hours that people put in on a day by day basis to make this event such a fantastic success. And sorry if I've missed anybody out, but you're all there in my thoughts.
And Kat, could you thank a couple of sponsors?
And Kat as well. Sorry, Kat as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have to thank Dave Bell, who's our events.
Oh, yeah. Dave as well.
For long-suffering Dave Bell, he keeps saying to me, "I'm just a chef." But he does so much on the organisation side, and he keeps us all in order. And yeah, he's brilliant.
A couple of key sponsors that we need to.
Yeah, we've got some great long-standing sponsors. Phil Burton, who's a member of Beverley, from Maple Garage and Maple Motorhomes, has been a long-standing supporter of the event, and many other events that Beverley have run over the years, and we're really indebted to Phil. We can't thank him enough, actually. And Ken Sturdy from Spectrum, he's sorted out all our printing, all the road books and everything that you'll get on the event as competitors. That's thanks to Ken. Last year's sponsor, Green the Sign Makers, they provided all our signage for the event. And this is another one of the things that we can be positive about, because all the signage is recyclable. So and it's all printed using recycled inks, and you can recycle it all. And obviously we're going to reuse it, but if any competitors drive into it and knock it over, we can recycle it. So that's absolutely brilliant. And the event's doing loads more than just offsetting their emissions to try and reduce our carbon footprint. We're trying to be paperless as much as possible on the organisation side, which really helps. As I said, all the signage is recyclable. But even down to things like the team of the marshals that are out there, the 550 marshals and officials that we have running this event, which is a colossal number, and thanks to all of them, but they all help us at the end of the event by litter picking. It's such a small thing, but it makes such a massive difference to the local community, and it's so important. So we need to thank all of them for all of their efforts, but it's just those little extra things going above and beyond that make them a massive difference to the local community.
I'd just like to mention the regroup from last year. Richard will wise us up. Also, the councils, the various people that are in support, and it's down to you, Richard. I think that to East, the tourist board, but you thank those people. They're your contacts.
Yeah, indeed. There's Terry Weaver at Highways Department, Adam Toes and Will Hall at the council at East Riding Events Department, who I spoke to again back in 2019 to get the event off the ground. There's obviously the blue light connections as well, which will on the day will be based up at Raleigh HQ. Chris Donaki, who oversees the emergency service advisory group, who's fantastic in his support of the event, and yeah, the list is endless.
And I just, like I said, because they were last year's spectator stage, the fan zone sponsor, the Reed Group, and how much, what a difference it made for them to be able to sponsor that environment. Yeah, we've got one or two new sponsors this year, but we'll. Are they so new that we can't tell everybody, Richard? Or yeah. Right, keep it under wrap. But we're excited to bring new partners on board, which will be fantastic. Okay, I think that's about it for this podcast, but we would like to finish on anything. We absolutely must thank and beg marshals to come and support us. And like I said, we do appreciate that not only your efforts, but we want to give you something positive to talk about. So hopefully you'll appreciate that this is a really good news story, and marshals are the front line in PR quite often. So yeah, you don't go unnoticed in your efforts. So thank you very much. Who wants to finish? I'll let you say goodbye in your own way. So Paul, would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, I wish everyone competing a fantastic event. I won't personally be there, but my partner Steve will be. So look out for him on the event.
Richard?
Like Paul, I'm having to miss the event this year because of business commitments, which is gutting. So yeah, I can wish everybody a successful event and safe event. To all the spectators, I hope you enjoy it. I know the trip across the Westwood will be fantastic. Yeah, keep safe, listen to the marshals, and yeah, I hope on behalf of the committee, everybody has a good day, and I hope the event runs faultlessly like it's done for the past 2 years.
Catherine?
I just want to say I'm a little bit gutted that I'm not competing this year because I've landed this role on the organising team, and I've got more involved. But I'm very happy to be giving a bit back. But I just want to say thank you to all the competitors, because without the competitors, there wouldn't be an event for anybody. Marshals, the spectators, you know, all of the competitors that put the hard-earned cash in to do this as a hobby. We thank you very much. We're overwhelmed by the amount of you that have entered. Brilliant. And we're really looking forward to having you back. And we can't wait. And we've got an amazing entry this year. Absolutely top class entry. 30 or so R5s, I think.
Yeah.
So there's a Porsche, there's an Aston Martin. There's some incredible machinery coming along. So it's going to be an amazing spectacle. So thanks to everybody that's entered so far. And yeah, look forward to seeing you in February.
Well, I was going to finish on the competitors and thanking from their point of view. I just need to look slightly screen left. Has a local rallying hero made an entry?
Yes.
Johnny? Brilliant. So one of the spectator favourites from last year, Johnny Milner, has put in an entry, which we're thrilled about. We don't know the car just yet, but let's look forward to that. So many great drivers. So really the final part of the thank yous to me is going to be to encourage spectators. So I'm going to thank the great spectators, the great atmosphere, all the media people, lots of people taking photos last year. We had a great media turnout, and we look forward to seeing all you guys again when we get down there to the spectator stages. And anything that you film, if it's if you're just walking down the street taking a shot on your phone, we love seeing all that sharing and involving the local community. So please encourage spectators to get involved. That's quite a rare thing to say in motorsport. If you're coming to compete, encourage your service crews to come up to the town centre, watch the ceremonial starts. We look forward to welcoming many new people to motorsport to the event, and it's on the Sunday the 25th of February, and we'll see you there.